Another thing that they did this right, slowing this process. Now her versus Tony Storm, they closed the show on Dynamite, hell of a segment, and I really hope they can keep this momentum from an awesome pay-per-view. Because here's the thing, right? Brother God touched on something very key about these head-to-head matches. And I'm gonna take it a step further. Y'all may be surprised what I'm about to say. WWE can really lose those head-to-head wars. Excuse me. TKO Group could really lose those head-to-head wars, and it's all.
Do tell. I'm intrigued.
Ticket prices. When people was up there talking about the ticket prices from All In versus what's that the same week as like Evolution?
I believe so.
And
that's coming up. Yeah.
Sorry. I am not a fan of Evolution 2 on that date at all. This is set up to fail.
You split the audience like that.
You split the audience, and I was never. Y'all know I love women's wrestling.
I know. This is why I'm so in shock to hear you say what you're saying right now.
Y'all know I love women's wrestling, but my issue
analyst on them.
My issue with Evolution 2. One, it was announced too soon. So now you want people to travel within a month, make travel plans. We all know flights go up as you get closer to the date.
Summer. Yeah, sure.
And if WWE was really pushing the needle forward, there wouldn't be a need for Evolution 2, brother. Because that means we would have really had more women's matches on the show. There's no evolution needed for NXT because you can tell us 3 or 4 great stories on that show. Shawn Michaels do it every week. You'll sit there and watch. It's 2 hours. I've watched the show, and it's been an hour that went past, and I done got 3 women's matches. And I just start to see a couple men's segments in between, but it's like you get more. So if they was really pushing the needle forward, we would have more women's matches. Now you can still have an Evolution and celebrate the women, but don't do it a month's notice. Like that's just ridiculous. And now, like I said, so now that's going against their WrestleMania. No, this gonna be like, you know what? All right, we gave it to y'all. So I'm not a fan of that. I am, but I do think if AEW and WWE continue to have these head-to-heads, it's gonna go the opposite way. Because if we're really being honest, the everyday working wrestling fan is being priced out. And I honestly wore the shirt as a rib because the talk about WrestleMania going back to Vegas.
Boo.
But if WrestleMania go to Saudi Arabia, that's it. It's not coming back. Royal Rumble's going there. Why would you come back?
Especially the amount of money they're gonna make. Are you kidding me?
The money, but also the fans, you still gonna get that reaction because the WrestleMania reactions. I haven't gone back and watched the show per se, like every week, but I know for a fact. I've been in arenas like when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens won, it was loud in SoFi. Jey Uso won, it was loud. It wasn't SoFi loud. And the reason is because when you got those high dollar, high roller prices, it's not going to give those, you're not going to have that same effect because it's not the diehards. It's the, like look at the Knicks game the other night. That first few rows, like, it's the celebrity rows, unless it's your Spike Lee's in them. But and that's what's going to happen with WWE. Now, this is why I got to give AEW credit. Yeah, it's like some days it seems like they took a step back, but if they keep going this train, then people's like, you know what? I'm a WWE fan. I can't afford to go, so I'm gonna just take my child to this AEW show because at least it's some wrestling.
Well, yeah, that's that's how our parents used to be. Like, all right, well, we couldn't go here, but I'm gonna take him at least here because this is something.
But it's crazy.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, because that's just consumerism naturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you might find yourself actually becoming emotionally attached to what it is that you just kind of went to by mistake. Go ahead, brother guy.
Mm-hmm. No, because Channel from Four Sides of the Ring said he'll go. What do you say here? I'll spend $40 at an AEW show and get 27 matches instead of
Well,
spending $200 at a WWE show and get 5 matches. Or something crazy. He made that analysis. He was like, I will always go to an AEW show
and
because
that's
it's
before you
affordable
get a
and I
crab
know I'm
pretzel.
getting. Yes. So, and it's crazy because some of the, like, the fact that Evolution, y'all knew it was coming.
Yep.
But then you change WrestleMania plans, which is going to hurt the industry. But it's because you can, not because of you care about the business, because you can. You know, whatever this is going to cause, it's clearly going to cause a shift. But now Evolution is going the same day as All In, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't care how much AAA or TNA you infuse in this. I hate to say it, the stadium is probably going to be more affordable than the arena price.
That's crazy. That's part of the problem. That
And
right
look where
there
it's
is
at. It's
part of
in
the problem.
Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
All
in
in Texas, right?
Woo!
Yeah.
Where's Evolution?
Atlanta.
Yeah, but
Okay. So we all in the South. Man,
It's
that's
gonna be tough.
I don't like
Yeah.
TKO group, bro.
2 places that you can get to affordably, but to your point, Hollywood, All In was announced how many years ago? They announced that like 17 years ago before AEW even started. They said we have an
Yeah.
stadium. I feel like that's how long it's been announced. You know,
True.
like they've
No,
been talking about this stadium for at least a year.
we went to the show. You see all in banners. They were giving away tickets, so wasn't it? They was like, okay,
Mhm.
already?
they gave away tickets to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, oof, man. I wouldn't expect this part of the conversation, but you brothers are absolutely right. We sometimes neglect the conversation of the consumerism and how it affects the fan. And hey, maybe this is what drives competition in a different direction. Well, yes, the TKO group has probably financially said, look, man, you can reject the prices up. You can pay them what they want. It's going to happen. But there is something to brand loyalty when it comes to a more affordable situation. We see it now in high school sports where Adidas and Nike is always fighting back and forth for eyes. But now Adidas is paying high school kids now in NIL deals, millions of dollars. I'm like, and it's like, okay, cool. So you just signed 23 high school kids, and what that's going to establish is brand loyalty. It don't matter what your stuff looks like. It don't matter how it feels. Nike may be superior product, which is what they brag about. We have superior, and that's it. They do. We get it. But when you establish brand loyalty with children, and then they grow up, and they're like, look, you've been putting money in my pocket, in my family's pocket since I was 17, 18 years old. And you say same thing with Travis Hunter.
Family. Look, we're Adidas family here.
Same thing with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter turned down a Nike deal because he was able to secure a $3.2 million NIL deal for his younger brother, who I didn't even realize he was still in high school. He said, yeah, that's why I did it. I'm like, right. So you think I'm going to go back to anything else after they didn't pay me that kind of money? So you pay me that before I did anything. So after a while, you say, okay, cool. Yes, you're winning the race now, but we're not trying to beat you right now. We're trying to beat you 5-10 years down the line. And if we have 13 of the top high school kids that have established new brand loyalty, guess what happens? When the little kids watching them going to want to be just like them too. I want to be just like you and get an Adidas deal. I'm going to start wearing your stuff. And then all of a sudden, and think about it. At one point, Nike wasn't always the number one shoe brand in the world. At one
It was
point,
Reebok,
Adidas
wasn't
was. At one point, Reebok was. Yeah, in the 90s. At one point, but then Nike had a plan in motion, like, okay, cool, let's not compete now, let's prepare for when this runs out and we complete later. And then look where you got we're looking at the same situation, and according to what you guys said, it's like that same consumer structure with real family consumer science right here is following trends in the wrestling community. You guys are really, really smart and good at this whole talking wrestling stuff. This is what I'm talking about. There's a level of intelligence that flows in this show that people need to be exposed to, because we just gave you guys a whole college level family and consumer science, consumer breakdown, how it applies to us wrestling fans. Whew, gentlemen.
For free.
For free. You eat no tuition. You know they cut funding to the Department of Education. So you're welcome, man.
Thanks, Linda,
Right.
man.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Sorry.
You brothers, you brothers never cease to amaze me. This is unbelievable. Once again, we have gone through. We're wrapping this up right, Nate. So don't sweat. I promise you, you guys have literally done it again. You guys are geniuses, and the more people hear these things, the better off they're going to be as wrestling fans. That's what we all can agree on. Because man, you guys dropped some gems tonight, man. And you know what? I think because we've walked away with giving people a sense of an educational uplift. I don't think we walked away as heels, except Brian.
Feel free to hit the super chat if y'all want to throw some dollars.
If you want to support our tuition-free education that we just gave you all, hit the super chat and please don't. You see how that was? Yeah, there you go. You saw what I did there. And trust me, donate and also follow us on all of our social media platforms, on Instagram, on X, on YouTube at Wrestling Wrealm. Subscribe to Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube at the Wrestling Wrealm. Also follow Championship Culture on Instagram at Championship Culture _. Don't forget, Championship Culture is every Tuesday 8 p.m. Season 4 begins June 10th. Full of surprises. But goodness gracious, brothers, we spent over an hour talking about how good AEW was. I think we have evolved and turned the corner. I'm proud of us, man.